America on the brink of war? Are we getting dragged into a war between Israel and Iran? I don't know. I know that the people saying that are wrong, 100% wrong. I'll explain all that too. We're wearing Godzilla today. This is by Dan Panosian, one of my favorite artists. Welcome to In Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Guys, I got incredible news today. At least 4 shows worth of complete, absolute ballers. It's an incredible day. Yesterday was a little slow. Today is huge. So we're going to start here with the most important thing, which is this war in Iran. So Israel, as you know, went in and bombed all of Iran's nuclear facilities. They are wiping out their intelligence centers, their communication centers now. They are done with Iran. And I'm only going to talk about the American culture in response to this, okay? So that's Israel. Trump yesterday said all Americans need to get out of Iran, especially Tehran, because Tehran, you know, that main hub, that main center is going to be just wiped out. Now, the anti-Israel and isolationists, the Rand Paul libertarians, the people that don't believe in fighting anything for any reason, they went and said, Trump betrayed us. Trump is a backstabber. He ran on no endless wars. And now he's going in and getting us involved in one. Dave Smith, who we've quoted on this show, who's a comedian, went so far as to say that Trump should be impeached, removed from office over this. And it split MAGA. That is the more libertarian side of MAGA, I'm sorry. I know that many of you are in my audience. I have zero respect for that position. Sorry. Libertarians, isolationists, but that's just me. I'm one of a kind, okay? My positions aren't held by hardly anyone else. So there's a huge variety of positions on our side, and we're going to get into that and why it's good. We're going to go into my Twitter feed. This is what I tweeted. I said, this is what I voted for 3 times. This is Trump from 2018. He said to Iranian President Rouhani, never, ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences, the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence and death. Be cautious. That is my message to, not to Muslims, but to Islamists. There are just psychotically anti-American. They threatened America and they threaten Israel. Anytime they call Israel Little America, okay? So I just want you guys to know, I support Trump in this rhetoric. By the way, he may not even mean it. That's not the point. The point is a president does this and the enemy can't know if you mean it or not. They have to think that you're a nut who could go in and drop a nuke on Iran for them to come to the table and negotiate peace. That's why I'm saying I don't know what Trump's going to do. I don't know if he's going to threaten Iran. I know he's probably not going to put boots on the ground. I can give you a lot of evidence for that. However, if he does, he's the president. He doesn't obey me. I have a lot of trust in President Trump, though. I think his gut instincts on these kinds of negotiations are huge. So what happened? Well, suddenly a whole bunch of MAGA last night blew up on Trump and said, this isn't what I voted for. This isn't what I voted for. This is my buddy, one of my good buddies. This is John Nolte, who runs Breitbart News, or used to be the editor of Breitbart News. Trump is who he says he is, and it's adorable how that still surprises people. So Trump is only doing and saying what he has always said. And to the Rand Paul people that say they got ripped off, this isn't what they voted for, Trump hasn't said anything last night that he's putting boots on the ground. We might send bombs, we might run an air campaign. Hegseth, we were all monitoring all night military flights, and just massive hardware is going over there. Okay, doesn't mean that we're involved in a fight. Might be support. We might be defending our own interests over there. But the idea that MAGA, there's people in MAGA calling Trump a liar, calling him Bush 2.0, saying that he's just like Barack Obama and Biden, saying that he's a neocon, saying he's a chicken hawk. And I'm just saying, you know, I think we have to give Trump a little room to move, okay? There's serious stuff going on when Israel goes over and takes out. But all Trump has said all along is Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. I'm not going to play you all of these clips that I have here, but this is 16 minutes of Trump saying Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. It's what he has always said.
You cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You cannot let it happen because bad things will happen if that happens. But everybody stopped. They were ready to make a deal. We would have made a deal that was great for everybody. No nuclear weapons. You can't give them nuclear weapons. Now they're going to have a nuclear weapon. Don't let Iran have nuclear weapons. That's my only thing I have to tell you today. Don't let them have it. They would have never had them, including Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. That's all. They can't have nuclear weapons. It's too destructive, too powerful. They can't have it. But I wanted to make a deal with them. No nuclear weapons. You can't have nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons are the single greatest threat to this world. Okay, so he made it clear in every campaign he's ever run that Iran can't have nuclear weapons. So suddenly the MAGA isolationists go, he's getting involved. He's trying to help keep Iran from getting nuclear weapons. He ran on it. You just put your fingers in and all you heard was no endless wars, no endless wars. That means zero military involvement. That means if Iran gets a nuke and drops it on Israel, who cares? And Iran, which is the funder of almost every major terrorist outfit in the world, including the ones that were hitting the Houthis, they were firing weapons on our ships. That was all paid for by Iran. All of it. Hamas was paid for by Iran. All of it paid for by Iran. So I just want to say Trump is being consistent, not duplicitous when he says Iran can't have nukes. I was listening, others were not. Okay. Now, a conspiracy arose on the right, which happens when you wishful thinking. It's so, I despise lies. I really hate them, especially on my side. That's why I'm trying to convince you guys and give you evidence over and over again. So what did the isolationists come up with? They go, Iran, we've been told Iran was 5 weeks away from nukes for 20 years. It's true. We have been told it. Doesn't mean it was a lie. But they're saying, like, because Trump is now getting involved, Trump is being fooled by the Jews. Iran doesn't really have nuclear facilities that they're bombing. It's a made-up conspiracy. They're just trying to drag Trump into an endless war and bow down and do Israel's bidding. That's what's coming up on the right. This is by a tiny minority of our side, guys. They're not major influencers. By the way, a whole lot of these influencers are making money. You're probably watching some of their YouTube videos and they're getting paid by isolationists, anti-Israel lobbyists, major money. I don't want to go into the whole expose on it because I don't want to, I don't have to do it, but there's a ton of them out there, guys. And, they're making a ton of money. They're getting a lot of engagement on it. I'll call out Ian Carroll because he's one of the most famous ones who went on Joe Rogan. And Ian Carroll, his engagements went up 2,000% since he started dragging on Israel and going against all this military stuff. So it's very popular. Okay, fine. Go make money on it. Fine. Everyone come in and step in and have your say. I'll say and have my say. Now, here's Trump on the plane. This is what I mean by there are other sides to this thing, because you guys have seen me do great positive views stuff on Tulsi Gabbard. Here's Caitlin Collins on Trump on Air Force One coming back last night. She's trying to cause conflict. She goes, hey, Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran was not building a nuclear weapon. Okay, that was just in March. And Trump said, I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having one. So we have division within Trump's administration. I'll hear it in his own words.
Sir, you've always said that you don't believe Iran should be able to have a nuclear weapon. But how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having it.
Okay, so there's division on our side, even within Trump's administration. Tulsi Gabbard said the intelligence community does not think Iran was making a nuclear bomb. Trump says, I don't care what she said. I think they were. Okay, I'm with Trump on this one. I actually think they were. I think it shows strength of Trump to have someone who disagrees with him in his own administration. I don't think it's a weakness. Lincoln was famous for having the opposite side within his own administration, because you want, when you're talking about war, you want hardcore war hawks in there, right? Saying, let's nuke everything. And you want pacifists in there going, are you crazy? Do you know how many people are going to die? And you want isolationists going, look, this is not our war, okay? You want Tulsi Gabbard in there. You want all this division of people in there, okay? But Trump's bottom line is still, Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. And I think he's being very consistent on that. Now, and then here's the evidence that was shown on Fox News that Iran indeed has a bunch of underground nuclear facilities. So Tulsi Gabbard appears to be wrong. Now, this whole news came out on Fox News. So then, of course, the isolationists who tend toward conspiracy theories say, well, of course, Fox News is compromised. So they're putting out this message, this fake message that Iran didn't really have bunkers, but now they're showing it on Fox News to undermine Tulsi Gabbard and try and get Trump into a war to help the Jews. Are you seeing a theme roll out here? Here's confirmed. The mythical Iranian nuclear facility is real. It is real. Trump is right. Tulsi Gabbard's wrong. Brand new satellite imagery has blown the lid off of years of speculation. A previously unknown nuclear complex spanning 2,500 acres has been uncovered deep in Iran. Hidden from public view, dismissed as a myth by many, the facility does exist and it's massive. Why was it kept secret? Is this where Iran has been advancing weapons-grade enrichment in silence? The implications are global. This redefines every diplomatic negotiation to date. It shatters the narrative that Iran's ambitions are peaceful, and it may be the trigger that finally tips the balance toward war, war, war. The West is now waking up to the terrifying truth. You can't negotiate with a regime that hides its...
There's exclusive satellite images revealing the location of a previously unknown Iranian nuclear site. Now, the facility spans nearly 2,500 acres, and this is a big discovery. Jillian Turner has more from the State Department. Good morning, Jillian.
Pretty explosive, Dana. These satellite images that we have obtained exclusively show the alleged site location and even the layout of these secret, previously unknown nuclear weapons facilities inside Iran. This, of course, raises fresh concerns about the regime's role in these ongoing nuclear talks with the Trump administration. The National Council of Resistance of Iran has collected intelligence from sources on the ground inside Iran that locate this nuclear weapons facility in what is called Semnan province, far from the regime's already known nuclear sites. It's codenamed the Rainbow Site by Iran's officials, and it spans nearly 2,500 acres. It's been operating as far as we can discern.
Okay, well, this site is gone now. Boom, gone. Now, this puts division between Trump and Tulsi Gabbard. How come Tulsi Gabbard didn't have this intelligence if she's head of our intelligence? Our national intelligence should know. So there's still division. All of those isolationists, those anti-Semites, some of them are anti-Semites, but they're all going, Tulsi Gabbard should step down right now. No, she shouldn't. She should stay in there and hold her position, hold Trump accountable. Here's more on those anti-Semites. If you look at this, this is an image that they posted of Trump. So they used to be MAGA, and now they're posting Trump with a yarmulke, a Jewish flag, the little curls of a Jewish guy. I am Israel's B. So now they're saying Trump is doing Israel's bidding, which is false. Get out of the party, you stupid baby. You guys are so ass backwards. You're so wrong. You were never for Trump. You were just using him because you were hoping that you'd be isolationist, and you were probably hoping that some of them did want Iran to develop a nuke and drop it on Israel. They hate Jews so much. Okay, in our party. Yeah, not kidding. Now, I found this great tweet. Again, I don't know who these people are. I agree with this sentiment. I think it's great. Our new national polling of Trump 2024 voters shows overwhelming support for Israel's actions against Iran and strong backing for a major U.S. role. This just goes to show how small the Rand Paul, Thomas Massie isolationists are, and including Marjorie Taylor Greene, guys. And you know, I adore Marjorie Taylor Greene. I disagree with her on this. Okay, we're going to get to her too. 73% say Iran cannot be trusted to honor any diplomatic agreement. 72% support direct U.S. military action if necessary to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. 83% support Israel's preemptive strikes on Iranian nuclear and facility sites. 83%, guys, that's ginormous. 79% support the U.S. sending offensive weapons to aid Israel operations. So just a majority of people in America, most, get what's going on with Iran. And by the way, we pray for Iran. There are Christians in Iran. There are moderate Muslims in Iran. They are against their own regime. They are praising the Lord that these Gaddafi types, these leaders, these Ayatollah types are being taken out, these religious nuts, doomsday religious nuts, okay? These people are okay with Israel existing. They want these hideous leaders. They have been tormented by these leaders. Okay, so look for a regime change in Iran. Going to happen. We don't have to be involved. I don't know. That's a different argument altogether. Is do we want to push it or not? And I don't care either way. I don't care if we decide to push it or if we don't decide to push it. I don't want American boots on the ground, getting casualties. I don't think. But no one wants that. Okay, even Trump doesn't want that. So even if he does it, it doesn't mean that he wants it. Sometimes you have to do what you got to do. Here's Will Chamberlain. One thing that should be obvious about President Trump's approach to the use of force is that he is perfectly happy to strike his adversaries, but he's not willing to get bogged down in regime change and spreading democracy. In his first term, he struck Assad, destroying ISIS, and assassinated Soleimani. This term, he has already struck Yemen. Every time panicans, that's what they're called, that's what these people, these isolationists, they're panicans, they're in the panic, have said, he's going to get us bogged down in another regime change war. Here comes World War III. It never happens. Trump is still the same guy that told Jeb Bush to his face that his brother lied to us into Iraq. Which, by the way, I don't believe Bush lied. I believe Bush didn't know. There's a difference. He's the guy who broke with the otherwise unanimous Republican consensus and criticized regime change adventurism. If you're betting on anything different, you're being silly. Strikes are very likely coming. I wouldn't want to be in Tehran right now, but the end result will not be a waste of American blood and treasure. We elected this guy for a reason, and I agree with that sentiment. Just even if Trump gets involved, I don't believe he's there to just ignorantly mow through them. Here's another case. This guy has some cussing in it, so I have to kind of edit around some of it, but I'm not going to read all of it, but he has great stuff. I'm going to spell this out just once so people can link this tweet to the knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing, simian creatures that whine about boots on the ground as if America is going to conduct a land invasion of Iran with 11 guerrillian troops and fight in the caves for a generation. Everything that makes Iran a problem comes from a factory, and those factories can be vaporized from the air, not one boot on the ground. Most U.S. casualties in Iraq were caused by sophisticated off-route EFP mines mass-produced by Iran. The rockets fired at Israeli is massive quantities threatened despite Israeli Iron Dome interceptor shots and overwhelmed their system, mass-produced by Iran. The drones and missiles the Houthis used to close the Bab el-Mandab Strait and thus the Suez Canal, one of the most economically vital sea lines of the communication existence, mass-produced by Iran. He just goes off on list after list of mass-produced by Iran. We're taking out Iran, the factory of every destabilizing terrorist thing in the world, and we're just taking out their weapons. It can be taken out without one boot on the ground. This is boom, boom from the air. By the way, drones, send drones, and that's how wars are conducted now, less and less. Now, Trump made fun of Tucker Carlson when Tucker Carlson criticized Trump. They're like saying, oh, he's a traitor, just like Elon Musk did the same thing. They're like going, oh, he lied. He said he wouldn't get us involved in endless wars. So Trump tweeted to Tucker Carlson saying, someone tell Kooky Tucker, he called him Kooky Tucker, that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. And then some of the MAGA on the right go, hey, you can't make fun of Tucker, including Julie Kelly, who I've quoted here all the time. She goes, this is extreme. This is unnecessary, this name calling. And here's Margie Taylor Greene giving a full-throated defense of Tucker. She's kind of on his side between he and Trump. And Margie Taylor Greene, she always has Trump's back. Tucker Carlson is one of my favorite people. Hey, mine too. He fiercely loves his wife, children, and our country. By the way, that has nothing to do with Trump calling him kooky. Since being fired by neocon networks of Fox News, he has more popularity and viewers than ever before. Again, that does not have to do with Trump calling him kooky. He unapologetically believes the same things I do. Marjorie, maybe Trump will call you kooky. That if we don't fight our own country and our own people, then we will no longer have a country for our children and grandchildren. And foreign wars, intervention, regime change, put America last, kill innocent people are making us broke and will ultimately lead to our destruction. That's not kooky. That's what millions of Americans voted for. It's what we believe is America first. And there she is posting her in solidarity with Tucker. I'm only going to say every single thing that she said does not address Trump's comment. That he calls him kooky Tucker, but Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. So Margie Taylor Greene's going to go down that list of forever wars, but she didn't address why Iran should be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. That's all I'm saying. So this has culturally divided us. That's okay. My position on calling Tucker Carlson kooky is, of course you can. You can't have Trump call everyone in the world a name, and then when they hit one of your own, and by the way, Trump has hit a lot of our own, okay? Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, he's allowed to call them names. You're allowed. Call them names. I don't care. John Bolton, call them names. Call me a name. The idea that Tucker is somehow sacred and precious and you can't call him a name is I don't get that, okay? We're adults. Let's be adults. Now here's JD Vance posted this video of Trump. I'm only showing this because this is what JD Vance thinks, who's our next president.
What specifically is better than a ceasefire? What are you looking for here?
Okay, this is the journalist asking him because Trump said he wants better than a ceasefire. He is not going to negotiate for a ceasefire, not just a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, which is what most of the libertarians want. Just a ceasefire, minimal. No, Trump says it's not good enough, a mere ceasefire.
And then,
I want an end.
Not a ceasefire, and then, so something that would be permanent. Yeah, or giving up entirely. Is that okay too?
He wants a giving up entirely. He said that's okay too. In other words, a surrender by Iran's current leadership. Surrender, an end, give up.
Closer, is that possible? Is that possible in the next 24? Why not? Certainly possible. Complete give up. That's possible. Yeah.
A complete give up, that's possible. Now, this is an amazing strategy, okay? I'll get into a little bit of the strategy, but what Trump is doing is Israel is the bad cop, right? They're coming in and they're going to hammer Iran with the bad news all day. And Trump is the good cop who comes in and says, I just want peace. I want you to give up and we'll give you something. We'll make a deal. He's going to say, you want to come back to the deal table? Now, Trump will get nothing if he does what Rand Paul, Thomas Massey, even Margie Taylor Greene and Tucker say. He will get nothing. If he goes in and says, I just want a ceasefire and we will never get involved. If he goes out and publicly says, we will never get involved, Iran knows, thank you. It is now kickback time. We got him. Trump has said he'd never get involved, or he's afraid he'll lose an election and MAGA will lose him. Man, you never want it. You want an enemy to think that you're crazy enough to massive spray nukes all over your country. You want them terrified of you. You want them terrified of Trump. He's dead on this. His tactics, guys, I believe in his gut. I don't even think I just think he's amazing. Okay. I don't think he's made a single mistake so far. And all of them and all the people turning their back on him and trying to peer pressure him out of this don't understand that they're probably going to create a giant worldwide bloodbath if Trump does what they want. Now, here's Mike Huckabee. I like this statement because in the end, guys, we follow God. Jesus is our king, all right? Trump's not our king. Jesus is our king. Mike Huckabee, our ambassador, this is something that Trump reposted on Truth Social, and it's by Mike Huckabee. I'm going to read it to you here. And remember, we got to pray for the situation. Here we go. From Huckabee, reposted by Trump. Mr. President, God spared you in Butler, Pennsylvania to be the most consequential president in a century, maybe ever. The decisions on your shoulders I would not want to be made by anyone else. You have made voices speaking to you, sir. You have many voices speaking to you, sir, but there is only one voice that matters. His voice, that's God. I am your appointed servant in this land, and I'm available for you, but I do not try to get in your presence often because I trust your instincts. No president in my lifetime has been in a position like yours. Not since Truman in 1945. I don't reach out to persuade you, only to encourage you. I believe you will hear from heaven, and that voice is far more important than mine or anyone else's. You sent me to Israel to be your eyes, ears, and voice, and to make sure our flag flies above our embassy. My job is to be the last one to leave. I will not abandon this post. Our flag will not come down. You did not seek this moment. This moment sought you. It is my honor to serve you, Mike Huckabee. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with that comment. I am here also. I encourage the president. I am confident in you. And I pray that you would do God's will. God's not doing your will. I pray that Trump will do God's will. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat below. I'm Doug in Exile.